Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Autastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm your host. My name is Kirk, and my co-host and buddy
Graham K. Another episode.
Boom.
We're back from a Christmas hiatus, and I guess Hanukkah and Kwanzaa,
Sure, New Year's.
New Year's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had it all. We had it all at once.
It was took a little break from the old pod, but it's good to be back. It's good to talk to you again, pal. You know, we
I know.
have such different.
Who do you get to talk about basketball if I don't call you?
That's I know. You're the only person in the world that will not only hear me out about my brother, but also the Toronto Raptors. So I need these calls. I need them. And we have such different schedules that we never really get to hang out or chit-chat these days. You know, you got stranded in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Folks.
almost 3 days in Puerto Rico, which is an odd place to be stranded, but it's great.
Folks.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah. Kirk was complaining to me, guys, about being stranded. I guess the cruise line messed up the flights, so they didn't fly him home. So they were like, well, we'll just put you up in Puerto Rico for 3 days until your next cruise on us. And he was like, oh, I don't know, man. My schedule's all messed up. They got me in Puerto Rico. I'm like, people pay for that, man. And nothing to do. You're just forced to relax in a beautiful place and in a cool little city. It's a cool little city. It's not like you're in some burg in the middle of nowhere. You can go to the beach. You can. Anyway,
San Juan's cool. Yeah, I was staying right downtown. I had a lot of mofongong, or however you say it, that local delicacy with the yuca and the.
Oh man!
That was great.
That's great.
They had a bunch of just great. They have almond milk, not almond milk. They have oat milk in my coffee every day. I was in paradise. It was great.
Oh, I know a couple good coffee shops there. Go check out San Juan. Check out Puerto Rico if you haven't, folks. Good little spot, and you can use American money. It's pretty fun.
American money, and your phone will work.
Your phone will work. It's pretty sweet. It's like
this is Comedian's Guide to Autism, and I have a severely autistic son who's 24. Man, and time just flying by. Tell us about your brother Peter.
Peter is 38. Jeez, and
your younger brother. Man, you're old, Graham.
Shh. When I shave and cut my hair and wear a hat in the right light, I could be in my mid-30s. For sure.
Oh, you're serious? I mean, yeah, for sure.
No, I could. No, yeah. Good look, I could.
Oh, that's funny. Nah, you're great. Yeah. You look great.
Anyway, this is a comedian's guide to autism and Puerto Rico. But yeah, how's JJ quickly? Because
Good.
Christmas.
We had a quick call today, and we had calls every day. Lately, he's been kind of. They've been calling me when he combs his hair at night. After he takes a shower, they comb his hair in front of a mirror, and he's like staring at himself and adjusting his head so he can see what they're doing. Uh-huh. He's like, I'm one handsome man. He doesn't really speak like that, but I imagine that's what he's thinking. Mm-hmm. And then in the background, it's me like, hey, say hi to me. I'm your dad. And he's like, hello. It's pretty fun.
Hey.
And what else?
Nice.
Yeah, getting ready for the next trip in the spring to go see him. I think he's doing good. Fixed up his little car. How's Pete doing?
Pete's doing great. Peter's doing the best he's been doing.
Did you get to see him for Christmas?
He had a great Christmas. I can honestly say it's the best he's done, and he's been doing in like 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, because so prior to the pandemic, he was in a depressive state, and then. Yeah. He started seeing somebody, and then he started taking antidepressants, and stuff started to get a little better. And then the pandemic happened, and he lost his job. And I think the therapy and the antidepressants kept him above water. But he was alone, and you guys all know the story. You've heard me tell it a million times. He would call me every day, and now he is. I had the opportunity to go home for.
Now he ignores you.
He still calls me a bunch, but it's cute. Anyway, I got home. I went home for Christmas, and I hadn't seen him in a while, in a few months, and Yeah, he's just he's bright, energetic, and happy, and we did our tickling. Um, and
My TV just turned itself on. If you could hear that, that was nice.
yeah, oh, weird. I
You
thought
did
I
your
thought it was the
tickling. I'm
captain
listening.
saying no autism podcast. um, but yeah, Kirk's on a ship right now, folks, and he's leaving port. So we're doing this before he loses reception.
I'm hoping it'll work fine. I'm on the ship's thing, but usually when the ship moves around, it adjusts. And
We
so
were
it's
talking
like,
basketball, and he's like,
I know you
"Man,
guys are-
we're leaving port. We got to do this quick before I lose reception." I'm like, "All right, man, let's get to it. Let's start the pod."
We'll talk basketball after.
Yeah.
People are probably like, you guys are so disorganized on your podcast. It's been so many missed weeks. If you knew what it took for us to get this together,
Oh my god,
to do the few that we do, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of texting back and forth. And
Anyway.
I'm in Ecuador. I'm in Ottawa. I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
totally. And we bringing equipment and whatever. Anyway, you guys are
So Peter's doing.
You
good.
guys' lives are way harder than ours. I get it, but still. Anyway,
for sure. We're just two idiots trying to get organized.
100%. But yet we make it work. Anyway, so Pete, he is doing really well. He was very excited about all of the Christmas presents I was going to get him. I for once in my life, I tried to do it last year and couldn't end up doing it for whatever reason. But this year I found everything he wanted, every crazy thing he asked for on eBay, and I bought it. And I was like, this is the year he actually gets everything from me. And I was able to save money by shipping it. I was like, here's what I'll do. I get a free check bag because of my status now. Hello.
Woo!
And so what I'll do is I'll order, instead of ordering all the stuff from America and shipping it to Canada and paying these crazy like shipment fees, like everything was like double the price, I'll ship it to my apartment and then I'll bring it when I go back before Christmas. Yeah, and I'll save like hundreds of dollars. But what happened was
just a single man traveling around with a suitcase full of toys. What could go wrong? Anyway, continue.
It's Christmas. It's adorable.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
So it's important to do it at Christmas time. Anyway, I have never had this problem in my building, but they all got stolen from the like.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I'm on the road a bunch, so I order it while I'm on the road, so it arrives when I'm here. But for whatever reason, eBay was like, it'll arrive on the 13th. It'll arrive between the 13th and the 15th. I was like, perfect. I get in on the 14th, and I'm there till the 18th. And so I look at my phone on the 10th, and it's like, it arrived. And I was like, oh, geez. So I had like 3 days where it was just sort of sitting. And I don't even think it made it into my building. I think someone took them. There was like 3 separate things that got stolen. So I only rebought the big one and got that sent. Then just got it sent to my parents' house, and it arrived after Christmas. It was a Death Star, Micro Machines Death Star. And then the other things I guess I'll reorder and do it later, and they'll arrive in January or something. I don't know. It's just a big hassle. And he's asking me when they're coming every day, and I'm trying to worry about work, and then I gotta download forms from, USPS, and it's like, it's like a day's work to get these, find these. I went to all these post offices and stood in line and talked to people, and it was like, anyway, the whole thing's a nightmare. He didn't get everything he wanted. Some Grinch stole all the presents. For an autistic man.
Some disappointed Grinch, I'm guessing.
100%. It just says like eBay on the box, and they're like, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe this is like a telephone. You open it up, it's an action figure of Luke Skywalker. It's great. Yeah,
it's a used action figure. It's a used Micro Machines Death Star. Out of box. Perfect. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun. We wrestled.
Good.
We went bowling.
Really?
He beat me 3 games in a row. Legitimately. think he beat me. I'll pull up the picture. I posted it on Instagram earlier, but he kicked my. He's really good. Or he's really good, or I'm very, very bad. But he kicked my butt multiple times, and it hurt my feelings, I have to say. Yeah, he beat me 157 to 99. And this is 5-pin Canadian 5-pin bowling. So that's like really good. Yeah, he got a strike.
No, I have no idea what I was gonna say. You scored 99 on bowling. That's terrible. But then it's some Canadian version, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah. But this is
take it back.
Like on the second. I don't know what it's called. Second inning or whatever it is. He got a strike. Then he got a spare. Then he got another spare. Then he got another strike. He went strike, spare, strike. The guy's a savant at bowling, and I swear half the time. Good. And the only reason why I was closer in the later, like in the third game, is because that's when the food came, and he was concerned that I was going to eat all the pizza. So he was like holding pizza in one hand, and like throwing the ball on the other, bowling in the other hand. He was like literally like chewing and eating and bowling at the same time, and he kept looking back, making sure I wasn't going to eat all the pizza. I was like, I'm allowed to have some of this pizza, man. I ordered all this stuff. I'm paying for bowling. I didn't say that. That's the only reason why the third game was close at all. It's because he did it one-handed, with one hand with funny. Pizza in it. But
so he had a good Christmas.
Yeah, he had a good Christmas. We all had a good Christmas. Everyone.
Now, does he buy presents for your parents, or how does that work?
He buys presents for everybody, and he gives the best cards. He bought presents for me. Okay. He bought me. I forgot to tell him what I wanted, so if I don't tell him, he'll buy me Star Wars T-shirts because he knows I like Star Wars. But I don't like Star Wars that much that I want T-shirts. My whole closet is drawer. I have like a drawer full of Star Wars T-shirts. I look like a virgin. I don't know what to do with these T-shirts. Like, what am I gonna? Do I bring them? I wear them to the gym sometimes. People are like, cool, Boba Fett. I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I don't know what else to do with them. Oh, here's something. So my parents bought this.
I love the idea of you at the gym. The guy goes, cool, Boba Fett. And you're like, oh, that's a guy's name. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah. He's trying to bond. Like, get away from me. Anyway, so my parents bought him this very expensive Lego, like Star Wars Lego thing. It's like a helmet.
I've got a Lego update after you. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. And he's got so Peter, if he doesn't like something, he just will. I don't know. He's basically, my parents bought him this very expensive Lego set, and they were like, "You need things that are. It's like adult Lego, Peter. You're gonna like this. It's Star Wars." And they try and and they have this discussion that my parents call it. My brother goes, "Okay." They convince him. And then they buy it for him. He's not that excited. And then he emails the three of us, my parents and me, and goes, I gave it to the Salvation Army. I donated it. My parents are like, what? And then they made him go back to the Dropbox and reach in the Dropbox and pull it out. But I'm like, Mom, Dad, like, he doesn't like it. They're like, no, we had a discussion. He said that he liked it. I'm like, no. What happened is you wore him down over time. You didn't have a discussion. Yeah. And so his little protest is he donated it. So what? But he doesn't realize that that's insulting. You have to keep presents you don't like, especially when people like
return them for cash.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're going to return it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to return these Star Wars T-shirts. I'm going to say I donated them and see what he does and be like, oh, it's just like that.
Oh, see if he learns it that way.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because sometimes I used to leave them behind. I used to try and like hide them in the spare bedroom at my parents' house, and he'd always find them. I think he'd look for them. He'd get really insulted. So I have to bring them home and have a drawer full of them. So.
Well, I think it's a little opportunity to learn. I like that idea. You say you don't even have to donate him. Just say you donate him. See what he does.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm not going to donate him. I actually, yeah, doesn't matter. Actually, this is
You can
true.
never have too many Boba Fett T-shirts.
This is true. what I've done with all the Star Wars T-shirts. So I bought like a poof, I guess
You
is
made
what
a
they're
Star
called.
Wars quilt.
No, it's like
You
a
bought,
leather.
you bought a what? I'm sorry.
They call it a poof. You put your feet on it when you're sitting on the couch. And
like
it's
an
just this
ottoman.
leather cube, an empty leather cube, and you have to put stuff in it. You can put it with stuffing or whatever. And I swear,
we used to call it an ottoman, I think. Yeah.
well, an ottoman has like wheels or legs, and it's got like maybe springs in it or some built-in cushioning. Like an ottoman is is like a piece of furniture you can sit on. A poof is just a stuffed thing that you put your legs on.
Okay.
It's like a giant pillow. Anyway, this thing is just it's fully stuffed with Star Wars T-shirts. I need them for the poof. Anyway.
I like it. And if that thing starts to levitate, the force works.
Yeah. Should we do in the news?
Yeah. Before that, one of Lorraine's cousins, JJ's mom's cousins, not Star Wars, Legos, went to see him came by to see JJ on Christmas and got him we tried Legos over the years. He wasn't interested, but they got him these
Swedish
Lego
cousins?
motorcycles. Yes. Sri Lankan, but Swedish, yes. Mm-hmm. They live in Sweden, but were born in Sri Lanka. And he liked them. So he was trying to assemble them, and it was a long thing, and now he likes them. So that's the big update. So maybe he'll start liking Legos, which would be a nice thing. Legos is good. It stimulates the mind, something to do, and so
that's awesome.
I was excited about that.
New thing,
something I can get him.
A new thing for somebody with autism is a massive breakthrough. Yeah. It's basically what my parents are trying to do with this Lego thing. But it's so hard to jar them out of their
we tried when he was little for 10 years probably. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? This is an open question. Because I was thinking about this during the break with Peter it seems like they're open when they're kids to things because they like these things from when they're kids and they latch onto them. So they obviously were open at some point in their lives. Then it turns off at some point and they just stay in that.
Yeah, I think they're more malleable at that time. And like all of us, they get more resistant to change. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's just it. It's like a guy wearing a mullet.
I'm selfishly excited
that
I'm excited he likes Legos so I can play Legos again. I always love Legos.
Lego is legitimately fun. That's great.
Yeah, now I can buy these big eccentric things for my son. Those are for my son. Leave me alone.
And there's no danger of him eating them or anything or swallowing them? Like he's better these days?
I mean, not more than anything else.
Right.
The bigger thing was when he's eating the drywall. That was the big one. He'd pull it off and eat the drywall.
Wow.
But he doesn't seem to be interested in eating hard plastic. So that's good.
That's great.
He's more of a soft plastic kind of guy. Yeah.
That is great. JJ's the man. All right. Should we do in the news?
Let's do it.
All right. This is from
Grandma
NBC
found
News.
This one.
Yeah. NBCnews.com. This one is a new test for autism hopes to help doctors diagnose before symptoms show. It's by Evan Bush. Researchers have developed a first-of-its-kind test for autism that they say can find markers of risk in single strand of hair, an innovation that might help clinicians identify if in young children before they miss developmental milestones. The test, which is still in its early stages of development by a startup, Linus Bio, and aways from federal approval, which is, a big thing, is a diagnostic aid meant to assist clinicians in identifying autism, but not to be relied on alone. Because hair catalogs a history of exposure to metals and other substances, the technology uses an algorithm to analyze it for patterns of particular metals, the researchers say, are associated with autism. The test is the first to analyze the type of exposure history over time. The analysis predicts autism accurately about 81% of the time, Kirk, according to peer-reviewed study published last month in the Journal of Clinical Medicine. The researchers hope the technology could help children receive early intervention treatments sooner and also lead to the development of new drugs or therapy models for young children. The technology is incredibly novel. The use of hair and the type of measurements they're doing with the hair is innovative, said Dr. Andrea Barcelli, a professor of environmental health sciences at Columbia University, who was not involved in the company's research. It's groundbreaking, she says. The causes of autism remains mysterious, and Linus Bio is entering an ongoing and heated debate over what roles a tangle of environmental and genetic factors may play. Researchers have discovered a myriad of risk factors associated with autism, including infections during pregnancy, air pollution, and material stress. Some pollution from metals, which is known to cause neurodevelopmental problems, has been associated with it too. The risk factors all function on a background of genetic risk, said Heather Volk, an associate professor in the Department of Mental Health at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. She added that in the past 15 years, more researchers have turned their attention to environmental factors. NBC News spoke to 6 independent experts from different scientific backgrounds about Linus Bio's test. Although many were excited about the potential of the underlying science, most said caution is warranted and that more research is needed. All agreed the findings should be replicated by other teams. There is certainly much more work to be done before concluding that this test is a valid measure of autism spectrum disorder risk, Dr. Scott Myers, a neurodevelopmental pediatrician at the Geisinger Autism and Developmental Medicine Institute, wrote in an email. How the test works. The Linus Bio test analyzes the history of the metabolism, telling the story of what substances or toxins the child has been exposed to over time, according to Manish Arora, the company's co-founder and CEO, who is also professor of environmental medicine and public health at the ICOM School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, the academic arm of the Mount Sinai Health System. The technology was developed from researchers completed at Mount Sinai. For an infant, hair can provide a glimpse of the exposure of moments critical to developmental, like third trimester of pregnancy. The test runs a laser along the length of the hair, using its energy to turn it into plasma for analysis. A centimeter, less than half an inch of hair, captures roughly a month's worth of exposure data, Aurora said. As the tree's rings tell scientists about growing conditions each year, hair growth allows researchers to understand what was happening in someone's body during a specific moment in time. Linus Bio says its tests can reveal metal metabolism in 4 to 6 hour increments. It's almost like having a security camera where you can go back and get a look at 4 pictures a day, Beccarelli said. The technique creates huge amounts of data. That's where a machine learning algorithm takes over. It's trained to look for patterns of dysregulation in metals that the researchers believe are biomarkers for autism. We can detect the clear rhythm of autism with just 1 centimeter of hair, Aurora said. Aurora and his team hope their technology could help young children, even newborns, receive early interventions for autism sooner than they can now. The problem with autism is it's diagnosed at the age of 4 on average. By the time so much brain development has already happened, he said, we want to enable early intervention. There is not yet a biological test for autism spectrum disorder. Rather, children are often diagnosed after parents notice behavioral differences such as avoiding eye contact, delays in language, or not pointing, but these behaviors vary wildly. And autism can also occur alongside other conditions such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, anxiety, and mood disorders, all of which I have. Specialists use neurological examinations, language assessments, behavior observations, and other methods of. Oh, by the way, that's what I all of which what I have, not what this scientist has. Specialists are neurological examination, language assessments, behavior observations, and other methods to diagnose a child. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends autism screenings at 18 months and 24 months. Early intervention for autism typically involves individualized instruction with a trusted teacher, according to Annette Estes, director of unit blah blah blah. You guys know what that is. These programs are implemented when symptoms emerge to address specific developmental needs and often look like play. Babies are little scientists. They're trying things out and looking for feedback, she said. You can really accelerate development in all kids. But little is known about what effect pre-symptomatic intervention might have for young kids at a high risk, that higher risk of autism. We have theories about what we might do, as he says, but it hasn't been studied extensively. Rounding out the article here, the Food and Drug Administration.
You're reading the heck out of this article, Graham.
Thank you very much. I feel like I started a little choppy, and I've really picked up steam. The Food and Drug Administration gave Linus Bio's test a breakthrough designation, which intended to speed up regulatory approval process for new technology when there aren't alternatives in the market. The designation does not change approval standards, and the company faces regulatory hurdles before its device could be considered for widespread use in the U.S. In the published study, the researchers trained and tested their technology by evaluating hair samples from 486 children across countries, Japan, Sweden, and the United States. In an analysis of 97 hair samples, the algorithm correctly identified cases in which autism spectrum disorder was diagnosed more than 96% of the time. It identified negative cases correctly about 70% of the time. The group tested includes 28 cases of autism, a much higher proportion than in general population. This needs to be targeted on bigger sample sizes and bigger data set, Volk said. The company, which has raised more than $16 million in venture capital investments, is working in an expanded study and has collected samples and data in a group of about 2,000 people. Because the predictive value of the test depends on how prevalent the condition in the group being evaluated, the test accuracy would be diminished in general population, where autism rates are around 2%. That part of the reason in the Linus Bio team sees a tool of merely aid clinicians in reaching diagnosis. No clinician should make a decision if a child has autism solely based on this, Aurora said. This provides a crucial piece of information, but not the only piece of information. The test could be most useful in groups with a higher risk of autism, such as children who have missed developmental markers or have siblings with autism. Researchers also think accuracy could improve with repeat testing, analyzing and comparing multiple strands of child's hair. However, from Estes' perspective, no test or technology can address the biggest and most important barrier for families of children seeking care for autism: finding trained clinicians who can make a specialized diagnosis and building a care team for the child. Many parents can't get help even if they do notice developmental delays, she said. On-time intervention is something most kids don't have access to at the moment, Estee said. We know how to help kids. It's really hard to get access. Aurora hopes that in the future, the new technology could also yield clues about what is changing a child's body as autism manifests. Perhaps eventually that information could open new pathways for the development of drugs and therapies for autism, he said. Linus Bio said it also plans to apply the approach to other health conditions with known links to environmental factors, including Lou Gehrig's disease or ALS, gastric disorders, and certain cancers. Kirk, what do you think?
Wow, I'm awake.
I know you're awake
because you can do diagnosis.
You kept moving. I don't know if that picked up on your mic for our audience, but boy, did your AirPod mic really. I couldn't even pay attention to half of this article. My ADD was going nuts because all I could hear is your. I think at one point you unpacked a suitcase. I think you opened a package of
my
scissors.
Chair, I think moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bunch of Amazon deliveries that I stole from someone's front door. I've got some great stuff here. There's some action figures, some great stuff.
You got me. All right. What do you think?
I had a guy come up to me after a show 2 nights ago and goes, "Hey, I think my granddaughter." It's very sensitive when they do this because I'm never embarrassed, but they're usually a little, hesitant. Like, I think my granddaughter's autistic, but my daughter's having a hard time with it. What do you think about testing? So testing's like a big thing that everybody's often concerned with. So anytime there's testing that you said it was like 99.6% accurate, great. Let's get this test. And it's
81.
Then we can not squabble over the.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was 81%. This test we're talking about.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I misheard, but I must have misheard. But anytime we can get the testing done, I thought it corroborated it in 90-something%. But I must have misheard. But the testing's always good, I think. It's always good. Always better to err on the side of having the knowledge. What do you think?
I have no idea. I couldn't pay attention. I was listening to your chair.
Well, just know that I got some great packages.
I
some
think
micro machines. There's a lot going on.
I think that what is interesting is okay, fine, that this baby, full-blown baby, is going to develop autism. Now what are you going to do with a baby? I know what you do with a toddler.
Right.
What do you do with a baby? Babies can't do anything.
Well, put them on the list.
I guess. It's like Green Bay Packers season tickets. Put them on the list early to get this limited health care. Yeah, it's tough out there, folks. But at least science is improving. That's one thing that you can take away from this, or that we can all take away from our little in the news segment, is there's always something to read. It's usually science related in a positive fashion moving forward. So
yeah, it's moving the right direction.
Yeah. Anyway, Kirk, where can the peeps find you?
We did it. Kirk Smith Comedy on all your social media. Right now, I'm really trying to push YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube and let those videos run in the background. I would love that. Even if you're not watching, joking, please watch too. And Facebook. Also, if you're in New York, I am doing a show February 11th at the Grizzly Pear, Saturday, 10 o'clock, my own show. Come see me. Come check it out. Get tickets online. That'd be great. Grandma?
Yeah, folks. If you could follow me on Instagram, that would help me greatly. My goal, my New Year's resolution for 2019 was to get 10,000 Instagram followers, and it is 2023, and I am 1,000 away. So
you're close. You're right there.
Yeah, I'm 1,025 away. So even if you have this inactive account, you never really look at. You have this, you forgot about it. Dust that old bad boy off. Give old Mr. Graham K a follow. MrGrahamKay a follow. And if you live in Louisville, Kentucky, Calgary, Saratoga Springs, New York, Chattanooga, Montreal, or Houston. I'm going to be on tour all of January, all of February. First up, Louisville, Kentucky. Coming up tomorrow on January the 6th. All tickets can be found at grahamk.com. And come see me. Come say hello. I'm going to be probably working my new autism show exclusively. So traditionally, I've only been doing like 10 minutes of autism material, and I'll probably be doing like 45 minutes of stuff on it. So trying to get to an hour, trying to work on it. So come check me out, you know. I had some people come out in Toronto for my autism show, and which I just did. It was the first time I ever did it, and it was great. It was great, and a lot of positive feedback. A couple autastics came. Love you guys. Love the support. And Happy New Year to everybody. Keep plugging away. And as always, Kirk. Sorry, it was throw to you to say you can do it. My bad.
Oh.
I know.
I thought you were going to plug something else. I thought you were going to do a Patreon. That's it, guys.
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/autastic. If you want to donate.
You stole my thunder, you son of a gun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have a great week, guys. It's all good. Later.
You didn't say it.
You can do it. You can do it, guys.